Scorpio, welcome back. This is your bonus read for that horrible "you're not together but you don't feel finished" reading. Not that the messages were horrible. I felt like it was a really solid reading, but I was having audio issues and I'm really sorry. So like I promised, I'm giving you, and Cancer also had an issue, both of you guys, a bonus read right now. So instead of having the same exact messages, only because you guys can go on there with headphones and still listen to it, I'm going to just do a little bit different where it's "you're not together, but what, what was their story?" And hopefully it will give you some extra guidance in addition to whatever was there. So yeah, if you remember, the reason I'm doing these is because of the Pluto and South Node influence that we're coming up into, and we're going to be asked to, clean out what's no longer serving us and figure out what we're going to keep, what we're going to throw away. So I just thought it would be a good time to address those of you who are in a relationship in that cuspy period where you've broken up, but you're not totally broke, but you're broken up. But you maybe were in that cycle of breaking up, getting back together, and you're just not sure. Are you guys going to get back together or you're not? And what is really going on? All right, so let's get right into it. Your crowning energy and your struggle, Scorpio, here is the Fates. Okay, and what this energy indicates to me is you going through a period of just not really understanding why bad things happen to good people. And I know that sounds very dramatic, but it's what I'm getting here. And this is just one of those times to be aware of how powerless you are to change certain situations and just surrender to acceptance. And you're having a hard time with that. And, this is asking that you hang in there. Life's going to get better. And you need to at least act like you believe that, just from the point of not generating like negative juju in your life, Yeah, you just really want to align with the idea that everything happens for a reason. There is a higher purpose behind everything, even if it's not really obvious. And if you can really embrace that, you're absolutely going to come out on the other side so much better. So this indicates that you're in a mindset of struggle right now, of acceptance, and that's understandable because that's what the demise of relationships can do to us. So don't beat yourself up by any means. All right, let's get right into this. So we have the Eight of Cups here. So this energy, and this is going to be your partner's energy. This is going to be explaining their deal throughout the relationship, just in case maybe you need to feel validated in some areas or you're just not really sure. So anyway, we have the Eight of Cups. So this energy says that, Scorpio, they were, on some level, they were bored. And I know that does not sound good, but this is what this card indicates. The relationship became stagnant for them, and communication, it could be money, or just feeling fulfilled was no longer happening for them as it either once did or in the way that they wanted. And they got this idea to leave in their mind. This says how they were trying to wait until the right time. That sounds horrible, but yeah, just thinking there'd be less drama, but if they need, it's like they needed to do that though for their own self so that they wouldn't feel as bad for them. But I feel like they at least did, or was entertaining the idea of kind of like slipping away into the night. That's what that card even looks like. Quietly and swiftly. I'm definitely getting that they felt sad about it. They did, but they knew it was the right thing. They knew it was the right thing for them, at least. And I guess ultimately for you, too. And then we have the Five of Cups energy. So they went into a space of feeling upset and lost, just sad and confused. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting that there were issues here. And perhaps you guys that this was the breakup. I'm trying to tap into where the energy is pulling me to in your story. So I'm getting that this is, for most of you, this is where the breakup happened. Okay. Yeah, they felt very, very, very confused due to this breakup. They felt they needed to move away from you because the relationship was causing them too much hurt. And they felt this in every bone of their their body. And Scorpio, you have to understand that what I'm explaining to you, this is the energy I'm getting for Scorpio archetype's partner. Okay, so you don't have to agree with any of this, because I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about them. Okay, so they were feeling sad. Yeah, it was just too much hurt, and they just really felt it so deeply, and to them that just reinforced that leaving was the right thing to do. You know, they were in a place of reviewing what happened in the relationship, trying to like assimilate the stress and sadness within themselves in order to make a fresh start, feeling like they needed to make a fresh start. But because this is Five of Cups energy here, you see how the person is turned around, they don't see the two cups. Cups are emotions, cups are feelings. The two cups still standing right behind them. They're only focused on the three cups in front of them. It's like they don't even realize these two cups are still standing. It's like they didn't even realize when they did this how they still had feelings for you. They were trying to justify their actions for their feelings by identifying that it was the relationship that was the issue and nothing within themselves just yet. That's what I'm getting. Then we have the Seven of Swords energy. So this said that they felt challenged by feeling that you were taking too much from them emotionally, Scorpio. Again, this is what they were feeling. You could be like sitting there like, are you effing kidding me? No way. But this is how they were feeling. This could be that they suspected you also of cheating or of having an alternate agenda for the relationship. You know, maybe you were with them because it made sense for you financially, or that's how they were perceiving it. But this does indicate them feeling used somehow and taken advantage of. They may even be wanting to somehow, when they were in this energy, play you at your own game. I get that there were a lot of arguments that happened during this space. Yeah, but you know what? I almost get the feeling that there was deflection going on here, that they were accusing you of things just to deflect away from their own feelings of not being satisfied in the relationship, and they were trying to create a list of things that they were identifying as being wrong with you to validate their intuition of feeling like they needed to leave the relationship. I don't know if that makes sense, but okay. And then we have the Four of Pentacles. So they just started feeling the need for stability, a firm foundation, and they felt ready to work for it. You know, in their mind, they felt ready for it. You know, maybe money had been an issue for them in your relationship, or maybe they just were not mentally prepared to be in the relationship that you guys had. It's just something was not right inside of them while they were in the relationship with you, and whatever it was, they felt more prepared now than before. So it could be, you know, in the most mundane level, money. You know, maybe they were focused more on the coin, you know, making more money, focusing more on work, or it could just be them just trying to figure out, you know, what they needed. But Scorpio, I have to tell you, I feel like they were being introspective with a handicap, because they weren't being really honest with themselves. It's just what I'm getting. And then we have the Knight of Cups reverse. So this is that you, Scorpio, that you were just really disappointed because they initially presented themselves as this perfect partner, you know, but it didn't materialize in the way that you envisioned. You know, it wasn't what you guys talked about, you know, and it didn't turn out the way you thought based on what they initially presented to you. And this made you feel really confused and pushed out of their life. You know, I just get this person is more about the chase and the romance and the sexual ideal, but not really interested in the more like the real work of a relationship that requires work and dedication and commitment past the honeymoon phase. The honeymoon phase is bullshit, right? I mean, it's very easy to be happy in that, but then once you get into the practical everyday of dealing with the real stuff that life is made up of, that's when they kind of wanted to check out, is what I'm getting here. Yeah, I'm getting that this is the thing. We have two knights here, right? And whenever you have two knights together in a reading, that always indicates a sense of rivalry. So what I'm getting here is that things that you were identifying in them in the relationship, they were saying about you. So everything that I just said about them, like they're claiming that they were confused, that they felt pushed out, that you didn't want the relationship in the same way, that you have intimacy and commitment issues. They were flipping things back onto you. Yeah. But I'm getting just not reliable, not trustworthy, intimacy, commitment issues as the motivator of arguments and expectations that they had in the relationship. Yeah, when they're challenged about any of this, they tell you you're wrong and deflect it back to you, but feel that you did the same thing, that you're deflecting back to them. Oh my gosh. Wow. You guys, Scorpio, it's so not funny, but it's so clear. This message is crazy clear to me. You guys had some balls to the walls arguments for sure. Yeah, because they were turning it right back. They were saying the same thing about you. Okay, and then we have the Ace of Cups reverse. So, they got into a space where they were just feeling very insecure and emotionally blocked, emotionally exhausted, and not trusting anyone. I mean, maybe you are acting sketchy. I don't know, Scorpio, but I'm getting that whatever it was that you were feeling about them, they were saying the same thing about you. It could have been them making it up in their mind, or it could be based in reality. But it doesn't matter, only because we're just addressing, how they were feeling throughout all of this. Yeah. And then we go into the Six of Cup energy. So they needed to escape the discomfort of the relationship, of the residue, of the leftover of the relationship. And they wanted to visit someone or something, but I'm getting that it was someone from their past, like an old relationship. But they really didn't know if it was the right thing to do. They didn't know if it was worth revisiting, but I'm getting that they did. But there was definitely confliction about it for sure. Getting that. And if they didn't, they at least seriously entertained it, like big time. And the thing is, this was in a space of you guys having had an argument and you broke up, but when you're in that space of not really being totally final, where it's still messed up if the person goes with somebody else so quickly. You know what I mean? That's what I'm getting as the timing of that, which is why it really hurt you. But, I'm getting that they did this to, punish you and make themselves feel better, and not because they really wanted to, but this landed them in more of a stressful situation that blew out of control, and they created a drama that was ridiculous, but they lacked the courage to take control of it. You didn't think that they would ever do this, Scorpio. You just didn't. You didn't. You felt so let down. And to add insult to injury, they tried talking their way out of it, denying it. And for a handful of you, they might have even been accusing you of the same thing, trying to deflect it back onto you. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yep. All right. And then we have the Eight of Swords reverse here. So regardless, look, they got into a place where they felt like they were just had a run of really bad luck and wondering if things were ever going to change for them. But Scorpio, this is the thing. They aren't seeing how their own choices and their own deep issues with intimacy and self-concept, like understanding how their past has played a role in how they handled things, how these things have created the majority of the issues that they've struggled through. And they were just feeling really angry and guilty and regretful, and probably expressed all of this aggression in a really negative way, lashing out at you, blaming you for everything. In their mind, blaming you for everything. Their circumstances, world hunger, global warming, all of it. It was all your fault. Scorpio, I just feel like this is an individual who is actually not a bad person, okay? They're not. I don't get that they're a narcissist. Again, as they said in the last reading, for those of you who watched it, and I forgot to front load it with this, this reading is not for you if you're dealing with somebody who's a narcissist, who is an alcoholic, who's a drug addict, who's a serial liar, a serial cheater, who just treats you like shit, makes you feel like shit more than good ever. And this is not your reading. This is if you guys had a falling out and you're in that cuspy space. So you need to take the messages as they apply, because I will never do a reading ever where I'm in any way giving somebody the tools and the seeds for thought when dealing with a narcissist, other than to how to try to extricate yourself from the situation and leave, because those relationships can't be mitigated. Those people are nursing things that, it's like they were born with something that was taken away from them at some part in their life, and they're not capable of relationship. I don't feel like that with this person. I feel like this person has codependency issues. I feel that they have been scarred deeply, perhaps in their childhood or through other circumstances in their life. But I do have to say that this, the Eight of Swords card, the energy is that of Jupiter and Gemini. And because it's and Jupiter, and let me just say, Jupiter is going to be retrograde in the 7th house of Gemini in April. So this just tells me that the restriction that's felt in this relationship could certainly be resolved after Jupiter does her thing. But I also want you guys to know, Scorp, that Jupiter is going to be in your 2nd house of wealth and values. Where, Jupiter is like this best friend going into your messiest room, right? And just cleaning everything up and saying, this goes there and you don't need this anymore. And do you really need this? I don't think you need this. I'm pulling this away from you. And, that kind of stuff. So this is where you're going to have, a restructuring of, on a mundane level, how you make money, but also how you approach your mental health. And, what does that mean? It's how you care for your mind and things that you're really allowing to happen in your life, and being able to reason through why you allow certain things to happen and why you draw certain people to yourself, and really looking at and unpacking your own scars from your past. And all of that's great, and also restructuring your values and what you know to be true for you. So Scorpio, this does feel like the situation as it was really very toxic, just the codependency, them accusing you of things that they were doing and expecting more from you than they were giving, and always needing you close but didn't give the same back to you. There's just a hint of immaturity here and this lack of ownership. But at the same time, I feel like I feel the emotions in this card, and if they were narcissistic, they would not be feeling this level of emotion. Narcissists are only capable of feeling emotion to a certain point and for a certain amount of time, and the rest of it is really fake. And I do get a feeling of sincerity here, but it's like they're seeing everything through like freaking like broken glasses, if that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, so it's time to pull the yes/no card. So I want you to ask out loud. I want you to ask if you and your partner are going to be getting back together, or you can ask, are you and your partner going to be broken up? But however you ask it, make sure you ask it the same way 3 times, okay? Give you guys a second. Okay, so because it's reversed and because it's a minor arcana, this indicates to me that not now. Not now. And that makes perfect sense to me, too, because you guys are going to have Jupiter retrograde in this house of values, and you don't want to revisit this relationship yet until you get your ducks in a row about what happened in the relationship, and if you're going to move forward with this person, you're going to be entering as a very different person. Just a very altered soul in a good way. For those of you who do not want to get back with this person at all, and this is just, you're not feeling that this person is your person, is the right one for you, you can absolutely stay broken up very healthily with very little drama. And again, Jupiter will be there in that house, really helping you to pull apart and assess what really happened and how to extricate the lessons out of it to move forward. Yeah. So either way, I feel like, you know, this is good, because those of you who want to get back together, there is potential. But guys, if you get back with this person, you have got to make sure that they're in the same space as you. I mean, this makes sense, and I know that you know this in your mind. Scorpios are so smart. You guys are so intuitive. You know, you feel these things, but sometimes we become so overwhelmed with our emotions that we forget to look at the practical aspects of what this person is doing and not allowing it to continue. So, you know, the caveat here is you guys can get back together, but it's got to be something that you feel is comfortable and fair to you. You know? Okay, let's pull a message from the universe card for you. I like it. Honor thyself. Just curious, when was the last time you looked into a mirror and addressed yourself as gorgeous, magnificent, and sublime? It matters. Yes. That's great. And then it says, here's looking at you, gorgeous, the universe. Yes. Yeah, appreciate yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself, Scorpio. This was a very draining experience you went through. If you resonated with this reading, this was very emotionally exhausting. For sure. Yes. All right, Scorpio, that's what I have for you. And again, I do apologize for the audio issues of that last reading. And yeah, so I hope that you were able to take a seed of something from this to move forward and think about. Take care, Scorpio. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.